Hello, Internet! Gino, aka That Pinguino, here again with another deep look. This time, I'm going to be taking a look at Final Fantasy IX for the PlayStation 1, and I'm going to be looking at this as part of my ongoing speedrun prep for the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run, which runs Friday, April 10th through Sunday, April 12th. That is this Friday, April 10th through this Sunday, April 12th. And we are going to be raising money for Pencils of Promise, a lovely charity that builds schools, trains teachers, and sends kids to school in developing nations. You can check out our schedule, all sorts of donation incentives and prizes on the front page of giantbomb.com. If you donate, we've got over 300 games being raffled away. We've got cookies, and we've got a lavender gift set for people who enjoy the finer things in life. So you should check that out. Now, this particular deep look is going to be showing everything from Mount Gulug in Disc 3 through the end of Disc 3. So, a lot of bosses and a lot of hard fights that are going to be covered here. First things first, this red dragon, or two red dragons. The reason why, I don't know if this is a boss fight, you get experience from it, so I'm pretty sure it's not technically a boss fight, but these two red dragons can easily wipe your party if you don't prepare correctly. They have two all-hitting wind attacks, Aerial Slash and Twister, and they can easily wreck your party. You should have, at this point, the Octagon Rod for Vivi, which will allow him to absorb wind damage. Then on Zidane and Steiner, you should have the Gold Choker. It will give them 50% wind resistance. And then Freya should have a Lamia's Tiara equipped, which will give her wind resistance as well. Now Zidane, at the beginning of the fight, he should have the Angel Bless equipped, and he should use Soul Blade on one of the two dragons. This will cause it to become confused, and it won't know what to do. It'll attack more slowly. It probably won't even attack your party. And then, once one dragon is confused, have the rest of your party and Zidane, once his turn comes around again, focus on the dragon that's still alive. Have Vivi cast Blizzaga, that's going to be the spell you want, and everyone else just attack all out. Between Bird Killer and MP attack, you should be able to deal with those dragons pretty quickly, and Confuse really makes the battle safe. Next up is these two, this 1-2 abomination of Zorn and Thorn, all fused together, all horrifying like. Strategically, you're going to want Freya to jump immediately in this battle, because the first move they do almost every time is Viral Smoke. It's an ability that deals a lot of damage to your entire party, and it inflicts the Virus stat on them. What Virus does is it causes your party members to not gain experience or AP from battles that they're in, which means as long as Freya's in the air when that happens, she will still be able to gain AP from this fight, and they don't use Viral Smoke again after they use it the first time. While she's up in the air, hanging out, enjoying the clean air, have your smog-ridden party attack Zorn and Thorn combo. Steiner and Zidane should be attacking physically. Aiko can be healing every once in a while. Once Freya lands, have her use the Luna ability. Now, what this ability does is it causes both your party and the enemy party to become berserked. In this case, since the enemy's a boss, it won't become berserked, but your whole party will, and that will give you a damage boost to all of your physical attacks. I think it's about 10 or 20% damage increase, and that will cause your party to just tear through this boss. It doesn't have a lot of HP, and the extra bonus damage on Zidane, Steiner, and Freya just allows them to make quick work of what would otherwise be a pretty dangerous boss fight. So, Luna. Turns out there's a use for that ability. In Ipsen's castle, the next boss you're going to be up against is Taharka. This boss has an odd quirk because it's in Ipsen's castle. In Ipsen's castle, strong weapons deal less damage, and weak weapons deal more damage. So, Zidane's strongest weapon when in Ipsen's castle is his dagger, his very first weapon. And his very strong Angel Bless will do, like, no damage. So your physical attackers are going to be very nerfed unless you want to switch up their weapons, which you kind of don't. So the trick here is, equip the Flame Saber on Steiner, equip Status Attack. Taharka, the boss, is vulnerable to heat. It's a status effect that once the boss takes action, it will instantly die. Now, you have a very small chance of inflicting that status effect, but if you do, it will make this fight, one attack or two attacks long. So it's worth that gamble. While Steiner is attacking physically, Zidane is stealing. You can equip him with a Rune Tooth, which is his weapon from right before the Angel Bless, and with that you can use Soul Blade and inflict poison on Taharka. That also is pretty useful. It'll deal about 1,000 damage per turn. I prefer to just have him steal because Taharka has a weapon, the Orichalcon, that is the strongest dagger in the game. So stealing from him is, if you can get it, it makes the next fight very easy, and it'll save you a lot of money once you get to Terra. Now, my particular strategy for killing this thing is very similar to the boss of the Desert Palace. It's actually the same strategy from the boss of the Desert Palace. I'm going to have Aiko summon Carbuncle, cast Ruby Light on my entire party, and then Vivi is just bouncing water spells at Taharka. This, every single time, will deal 9,999 damage. You're only going to need to cast about 3 spells with Vivi. And if you're lucky, Taharka will bounce a spell off of you as well. Also, since Taharka, almost all of his attacks are magic-based, as long as you've got Ruby Light up and running, your whole party's safe from almost all of his attacks. So it makes this battle very safe as well. Now, I'm very lucky in this fight in that I steal the Orichalcon. Your mileage may vary, it's a very rare steal, but if you get it, it's just gravy. And he should fall pretty quickly. Thing to note, also, he's got ice resistance, so don't use ice spells. Next boss up is a throwback to Final Fantasy I. It's a callback to the Chaos, or the 4 Fiends. You're going to be up against the Earth Guardian, who's basically the Lich equivalent. And there's going to be another throwback to Final Fantasy I a little later on. The tough part of dealing with Lich is that, or I guess the Earth Guardian in this case, is that you're using Quina and Zidane. You don't have a choice in your party. Quina is going to be very underleveled. Quina doesn't have very much damage capability just innately. So what you're going to want is to have Zidane and Quina both be equipped with the Gaia Gear. It's a chest armor that will allow them to absorb earth damage, and that is because the only all-hitting attack that the Earth Guardian has is Earthquake, and if he uses that, it's very likely, if you don't have the Gaia Gear on both of them, that one or both of the characters will get killed by that move. Now, you're going to also want to have the Reflect Ring on Quina, which is going to allow Quina to bounce spells back at the Earth Guardian. In this case, you need to also equip Auto Reflect. Zidane should have Distract, which will make him able to dodge physical attacks a little bit more readily, and then Zidane is going to be attacking every single turn. If you're very lucky, the Earth Guardian will bounce a couple of spells off of Quina and help you out. If you're not very lucky, he'll use physical attacks on Quina and magic attacks on Zidane, and your setup is not going to help as much as you would otherwise think. But, alas, you can only prepare. The game isn't necessarily going to play out the way you'd like. If anyone goes down, have Quina revive, or Zidane, the one who's surviving should revive. And once it's low on HP, you're going to want to eat it, just to add insult to injury. And also Earthshake. The next series of bosses, they're not actually bosses, they're the Not Alone battles. These are another set of 3 very specific battle setups where, again, you're not getting to pick your party. In the beginning of the first battle here against this pony, Zidane comes in alone, and you have to withstand 2 rounds of attacks before you can really deal damage. The pony will not take damage that matters until Freya shows up, which means Zidane's going to get attacked once for free, and then its second turn, the pony will start to fly, like a Pegasus, sort of thing. And then Freya will show up, and then you can attack all out. So this battle is really a matter of healing Zidane and keeping him in good shape, and hopefully his ATB pretty high for when Freya shows up. And then once Freya shows up, go in. Because the next trigger, which triggers Amarant to show up in the fight, is after the horse takes a little bit of damage. And that'll just make him show up, and then you can definitely kill it. So this is the easiest of all of the Not Alone fights. That's because in this case you have 3 of your 4 final party members. They are not all high level, but they are not as low as your next 2 fights are going to be. If you can, have Amarant die just so that Freya and Zidane get the levels, because Amarant really doesn't need levels to deal damage, and he's not going to have that high HP anyway. Next fight up is the battle with Quina and Steiner. In this case, instead of Zidane starting in the fight, Quina and Steiner start in a fight, and they are up against this, well, you'll see. It's a praying mantis monster. I think it's called an Abaddon. Yeah, it's a weird praying mantis monster with boxing glove hands. And the thing about this fight is, again, you have to survive 2 rounds of combat, and unlike that pony from before, one of the turns is not just spent flying in the air. In this case, you're going to want your party members to, again, wait and heal. But unlike before, that second attack is usually its all-hitting wind attack, which is called High Wind. Shoutouts Final Fantasy VII. And it is very likely that that attack will kill Quina or Steiner. You just need to make sure it doesn't kill both. So be sure before you even enter the Not Alone battles. So once you get to Brand Ball, make sure Quina is equipped properly with very good armor, because he/she's defense and health is just so low. If you don't give almost... You want to have Quina have even better armor than Zidane at this point, because of how crappy Quina's HP is. And then for this fight, it's going to be a matter of once Zidane shows up, Zidane and Steiner just go ham, and if Quina's still alive, Quina should be healing. Important thing to note about this battle in particular is that since that high wind attack hits everyone, and it hits everyone pretty hard, and at this point you're not going to have anyone who does healing, who has healing capabilities to heal your entire party, it's really going to be a matter of using high potions. If you have to use elixirs, this is probably going to be the fight where you have to. And just hope that it doesn't use high wind too many times in a row. Next battle up is against the Shell Dragon. And in this case, it's going to be another one where Zidane starts in the fight alone. Except in this one, the trigger for Zidane, you know, his team member showing up, is Zidane being at 1 HP. Now, the Shell Dragon has an ability that will just put you at 1 HP. It's way easier to just kill Zidane and have Auto Life equipped. He should have the Rebirth Ring equipped for this entire thing. You're going to need that little bit of forgiveness of Auto Life in the first two battles every once in a while, so it just pays extra dividends in the third battle. Once you kill yourself, Garnet will show up and revive, well, fully heal Zidane, and then the fight begins in earnest. Dagger/Garnet has one goal. She is to cast Protect on Zidane. Once she has done this, her job is done. She can die in peace. But if she doesn't do this, it's very easy for Zidane to get wiped by the Shell Dragon. It has two very strong abilities. That one is a charge that will do a physical attack on your whole party, and then there is a move Smash that will reduce one party member to 1 HP. If it uses Smash on Zidane followed by a charge, you're probably going to wipe if you don't heal. If it uses Charge 2 times in a row without Zidane being protected, you're probably going to wipe. Luckily, its third attack is Earthshake, and that's an Earth-based attack. You're still, as long as you have the Gaia Gear equipped, you should still be defended and protected against Earthshake. So if you're very unlucky about the moves that the Shell Dragon chooses to do, you can wipe in this battle. If you're luckier, like I am here, it's really a matter of Dagger using Protect once and then just attacking all out. Unfortunately, this is the battle that I've found the most difficult just because of the sheer RNG of the Shell Dragon. But just keep it up. And the last segment here is going to be the 3 battles at the end of Pandemonium. The first one is the Silver Dragon, followed by Garland, followed by Kuja. The Silver Dragon is by far the most dangerous of all 3 of the battles. And so once you get past the Silver Dragon, you're kind of in the home stretch. Most of the preparation as a result will be for the Silver Dragon. Silver Dragon has some all-hitting attacks just like the Red Dragons from earlier, except instead of... Actually, they are also wind attacks. There's a wind attack, aerial slash, and another attack called Shockwave, both of which you have to watch out for. So you're going to want to have some wind resistance on some of your characters. At least one character should have a ribbon. I believe Steiner has the ribbon in this case. Freya should be equipped with a Rebirth Ring. That is because by this point, you should have bought the Holy Lance for Freya, which is her strongest weapon. It's going to be the weapon that you finish the game with. And the Holy Lance plus the Rebirth Ring. The Rebirth Ring gives you additional holy damage, which when you have a holy weapon, allows her to deal a ton of damage physically. Now, she also needs the Rebirth Ring because she has the lowest HP of any of your heavy hitters. If Armorant dies, it's not a huge deal, but Freya, you're going to need her to stay alive for most of this fight. Now, between all the physical attacks, you also have a very fun part of the game right now, because Steiner, at this point, should have Charge. This is the closest thing you have to... I mean, it's not limit break abuse like in Final Fantasy VIII. There's nothing that broken in Final Fantasy IX, but the power of Charge is that it allows every party member who is in low health, like in yellow health, to get a free physical attack. This means that you can do up to 4 attacks in one turn of Steiner's ATB, which means that between all of your characters, you can get 7 attacks in one round of combat. That's absurd. It's what allows this game to go a lot faster, and it makes a lot of these fights safe, because you're just attacking so hard that you're not exposing yourself to all of the all-hitting attacks that would take you out. I was lucky in this fight in that Zidane tranced. Even though Freya and Amarant got knocked out, I still had Solution 9 to fall back on, and that really saved my butt. But in this fight, it's mostly going to be about withstanding Aerial Slash and Shockwave, and then just using Charge in a good scenario. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't pan out exactly as the strategy would dictate, but in this case, it went in the randomness went in my favor, and Zidane was able to just dine his way through. Next up on the docket is Garland. Garland is a little bit... He's not especially difficult. The thing you need to know about going into him is that he can use Stop, which is a spell that it doesn't kill your party member, it just stops them. It causes their ATB to stop, and you have to use a remedy to heal them. So you don't want to deal with that. That's basically a one-hit kill. So you're going to want to have all of your party members equipped with Locomotion. It's an ability that guards against Stop and Slow. And that's just going to make one of his attacks basically worthless, and it's going to give you an open window to attack him. While your party member, you're going to have Steiner using Charge. While he's charging, you're going to want to have Zidane stealing. This is because Garland has an item called the Battle Boots. It's his rarest steal, but the Battle Boots are very, very strong. They are useful at the end of the game. They teach an ability called Initiative that I believe helps with your ATB meters in some way, or it gives you an advantage. It's either it fills one of your ATB when the battle starts, or it gives you a chance to get back attacks more readily. I forget which one it is in this game, but I remember that it's useful, and you're going to want to steal it. Again, shout-outs to the Awesome Games Done Quick guys for pointing out how useful some of these abilities are. It helped my speedrun prep immensely to watch their speedrun, and so you should definitely check out Awesome Games Done Quick 2013, see the Final Fantasy IX speedrun. This battle is not going to be too dangerous because Garland can only do single-hitting attacks. So just charge, keep everyone healthy, Locomotion. The last battle on all of Disc 3 is up against Kuja, and Kuja's strategy is basically exactly the same as Garland's strategy. You are keeping everyone in low health, you are reviving when people die, and if people aren't dead, you're using Charge, and everyone is physically attacking. And the only difference is that in this battle, there's nothing even worth stealing. So, before you were leaving Zidane to steal and everyone else was attacking, in this one it's just free-for-all, go get him. Everyone go get him. Have Amarant throw if you want, have everyone just go ham at Kuja. And, important thing to note, I didn't mention it before the Silver Dragon, but Freya you're going to want in the back row for the Silver Dragon, because she has very low HP and can very easily be knocked out by his Shockwave attack. When you go up against Kuja and Garland, bump her up to the front row. So, I hope you enjoyed this long look at everything from Mount Gulug on to the end of Disc 3. I am almost at the end, and it's sweet. I'm really looking forward to the speedrun itself. I hope you enjoy all these videos that I'm putting out. If you do, let me know. Go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a few more videos, some with the last bosses of the game, but till next time, peace!